Now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Don't forget to check out the Hockey Podcast Network's newest affiliate, NHLShop.com. That's right, the official NHL merchandise page. Right now, they're giving 20% off orders over $25 with code NHLICE25. Also, if you use our link that we're going to tweet out after this episode, you can help support us and the other hosts at the Hockey Podcast Network. The Hockey Podcast Network has also joined forces with Puffy Mattresses. They're not just any bed-in-a-bag company. These are America's most comfortable mattress, and right now you can get $300 off a new mattress plus a free king-size pillow. Plus, they offer a 101-night sleep trial, so if you're not satisfied with the mattress, you can return it no problem. Also, if you use our link, just like NHLShop.com, you can help support us and the other hosts at the Hockey Podcast Network.
This is the Hockey Podcast Network, your home for hockey talk on every team in the NHL.
Welcome to Offside by a Mile, the podcast for anything and everything Colorado Avalanche, and the official Avs podcast for the Hockey Podcast Network.
All right, everybody. Well, Frankie says... so good. Frankie goes to Hollywood and says, relax, boys. I got this. Avs have won 3 in a row. During that time, we've signed Frankie.
And scored 5 goals.
And scored 5 goals and won 3 games, which is usually like we scored 5 goals. That's 1 game.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 games in a row, winning games, by 1 goal, winning in the shootout, beating the Islanders 3-1, which we'll talk about that game because we couldn't get into that on last episode because we recorded the day before. But yeah, it's been a pretty interesting 3 games. Some pretty interesting character wins, honestly.
Very, very, very much so. I clearly have a cold again, as seems like every month I get this cold. Driving me nuts, so sorry about that.
I mean, the voice sounds better than it did last time.
It sounds better than it did 4 hours ago as well.
It's also
I woke up this morning and could not make noise. So
hey guys, welcome to the show.
Yeah, my wife's like, how's the throat this morning? I'm like, we'll get into the Islanders game first. This is gonna be a quick run through because these games don't have a lot going on.
True.
Not exactly high event hockey games, but we also have to touch on the trade deadline that is today. If you're listening to this on Monday,
yeah.
Obviously, we don't know all the deals that have happened or are going to happen on trade deadline day.
Sure, it'll be pretty active on the old tweets.
Yeah, we will cover that on Twitter for sure. We will cover that on Thursday's episode as well.
If there is anything to cover.
I'm sure the Avs make an addition on Monday.
I mean, it's looking that way, especially now that Burakovsky's out for, I'm not even really sure how long. I haven't really seen too many details on that, and it was kind of just like almost a hidden thing, and it was just like we start against LA, and it's like, oh, yeah, Burakovsky was injured. Okay.
Really, really hurts my fantasy team right now.
Oh, man, I have him in one of mine, too. I was like, damn, dude, he's been popping off.
I know, he's been killing. He's been one of my best players lately.
Right.
Because my team has been shitting the bed.
And same with the Avalanche, right?
Yeah, that too,
it's
right?
Just oh, man. If we
want to talk about that goal right now, obviously, Donskoi gets the first one, but we'll get that in a sec. That Burakovsky goal.
Yeah, against the Islanders.
In the second period of the Islanders game was a beauty.
Beautiful.
That he almost followed up with a second one about I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes later.
Yeah, same kind of,
But, like,
right wing play.
The little stutter step, the little angle change, the release, all of it combined to just throw Varley for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Varley was actually thinking he was going to go low or if he just dropped his glove out of habit.
Yeah.
I do it, but I'm not an NHL goalie.
No? I mean, you could be a emergency backup, maybe.
I apparently could be an emergency backup because I'm not 42.
We won't get into that. Everyone knows what happened there.
Yeah, if you haven't watched or seen anything, I want to kill myself because my Leafs shit the bed against an emergency backup goalie that's 42 years old and had a kidney transplant, and the list goes on.
Yeah, it was an amazing story last night.
Yeah,
or I guess I should say Saturday night.
Amazing story. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
I was amazed.
Anywho, back to the Avs because I need to distance myself from the Leafs right now.
Pretend it didn't happen. It's okay.
I guess we'll jump back to Donskoi's goal. Another pretty nice goal actually from him.
Yeah.
In a game which had uneasiness for sure to start because of the way Varley played.
Completely.
The last time the Avs played the Islanders.
Definitely, right?
On that note, nice tribute for Varley in this one.
Hell
Very
yeah.
nice to see. I'm glad they played it. Obviously, he was going to get a tribute video, but
yeah,
glad to see he got that kind of video tribute.
Right, and that's legit, man. You look at all the stats, they popped it up on the broadcast. Number 2 in everything.
Everything.
And who's number 1? We all know who that is, Patrick Waugh. But, number 2 on any kind of franchise is big deal. So, and yeah, like you said, in the first game, which was 2 months ago now, 2.5 months ago, probably 2 months ago, started December-ish, I think. Varlamov played just amazing in that game, and plus the Islanders looked like a different team this go around. They just look a little bit not quite the same,
We kind of touched on it on Thursday's episode, right? Where they've been bad lately. They've been injured big time lately too. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely taken a bite out of the Islanders.
Yeah, we can feel that.
We can feel it for sure. I'm not going to feel bad for them.
Nope.
Yeah, so anyway, this Donskoi goal looks like Makar's at first.
Yeah.
But the high slot tip from Donskoi, it kind of like you said on the episode, you tweeted it out too, getting traffic in front of Varlamov, getting him, whether it's changing the angle of the puck, with a tip or getting his eyes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was what was going to have to happen.
Yep.
Donskoi's goal is a tip. Burakovsky goal has traffic. Landeskog's, I think, was a rebound from traffic. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, if you know the goalie is going to be a stud or have a feeling, and this should be the case for all goalies, regardless of if they're a stud, make their life difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. Big time for the Avs in this one.
Yeah, send everything to the net, drive the net for rebounds, look for tips, big screens, and that's kind of how the Islanders played it before. Last game was, that crazy collapse, blocking shots. It's kind of like you almost have to use that against them and just play the outside and drive pucks to the net, drive it to the net, keep it going. And, it was a good strategy, and they they executed it pretty damn well. And this whole game was, pretty dominant performance by the Avs for sure. So it's exactly what we need to do because the last time we played the Islanders, it did not go this way. That's for sure.
Another thing that happened in this one, surprise, Donskoi almost got killed again.
Man, yeah, he's a magnet for...
I'm telling you, there's something about Donskoi that is just easy, makes him easy to hit or something. I don't know what it is.
I feel like almost he's got a little bit of a hesitation at times.
Maybe.
Where I always find him turning in different ways. That's just kind of awkward, and he puts himself in weird positions sometimes. The guy's tough as hell though. He takes beatings every game, almost all 3 of these games.
For sure.
He gets rocked in every single outing. So
and unless he doesn't get unless he gets concussed, he's coming back.
Yeah. So, tough guy Jonas, and then gets the first goal in that game. So, I mean, I actually wrote some notes about him too. He had a great game in this game, and honestly, he's been playing really well. I know that they kind of shoved him down the lineup in that LA game. We'll get there, obviously, but man, like he was blocking shots. He got smoked. He's making plays right at the net right after he got rocked there too. Like, so man, he's one of those guys that's going to be super valuable going down this stretch, especially right now with all our top players, not all our top players, but a lot of our top players out right now.
Feels like all of them at times.
Man, you can tell it's depleted. This roster is pretty depleted. It's going to be a struggle. We're going to have to band together, and for the most part right now it's happening. So
the good news is that everybody's coming back for playoffs as of now.
Right.
So it's not like we have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Which means any addition that happens on Monday
has
is
to fit that
going to add to what the Avs can be in the playoffs.
Right.
And then add to your depth as well, right?
Yeah.
I lied. The Landeskog goal was a tip in front,
okay,
not a rebound. I was thinking of a different play that he didn't score on. But again, it's traffic. Same thing.
Yep.
Lots of traffic. Another point shot.
Yeah, and that was I think that was the point. I feel like on the third goal I have the note as freaking Makar making. I can't even remember this goal now.
It was McKinnon point shot, and then Landeskog just
right.
Tip.
Right, this is Makar. Makar sets this whole thing up, even though he doesn't get an assist on this goal. And I was just like, holy crap, puck control. This guy, he circles the zone like 1.5 times on this goal. And oh my gosh, like
he's got his old McKinnon shoes on.
Oh man. He's so clean. Like his skating, I don't know, like there's not many players in the league who's as just like clean as he is at skating. And like his half, they're kind of highlighting his like half strides, like his pushing, cycling, skating that he does. Yeah. And it's just ridiculous. Like he's so fluent.
One thing that was brought up on the broadcast, I want your opinion because I want to give mine. 50 assists. You think it's going to happen for him?
Yeah.
There's a really good shot, I think.
I mean, maybe not if we only score like one goal a game.
Well, because what's he at right now?
What would he
be
at?
After Saturday's game? He's at 33. So he's got to hit 17 in like 19 games.
He'll do it.
No, sorry, 21 games.
The reason, like, I'm not even gonna say if something happens. I don't want to even talk about that. But man, if he keeps playing the way he is, he's like, other than McKinnon, he's got it with everybody out right now. He's the next top offensive producer on this team. Like, that was like in OT against LA. Who did they send out? They send out McKinnon, Gerard, and Makar. And then they send out, I can't remember who it is.
That is a weird lineup.
It's Graves, Gerard, and Nishushkin was a line.
We'll get to that in a bit because I have my thoughts on that overtime.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, I don't think he's gonna hit 50 assists.
It's tough, but
I think he might hit 17 points.
Yeah.
In 21 games.
We'll see.
I don't see him getting. I see him getting like 4 or 5 goals, and then like 10 or 12 or 15 assists. Right? It's just 17 assists in 21 games is a lot from a rookie D-man.
That's the thing.
A lot from a D-man period.
I mean, yeah. If we can get back to our intensely outscoring teams ways, maybe.
However,
I want to believe.
The one thing, like you said, right, is if you score 4 or 5 a night, then Makar's getting a point or 2 every night.
Oh, right.
And the other thing with that is if he hits 50 assists, there is 0% chance he doesn't win the Calder.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right, like if he goes off like that, man, it's game over
like,
for Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, if you look at like Quinn Hughes, which he's having a great
100%.
And he looks great too. But, I would say Makar's maybe got a tiny bit of an upper hand, but they are really kind of similar players too. But the fact is, like, the less games and if he gets like more points, that's locked up.
True. Anyway, in standard Colorado fashion, can't let Frankie get a shutout.
Oh man, yeah, this one hurt. This one hurt again.
I believe this is the third time this season that Frankie has had a shutout going into like the last 5 minutes of a game, and the Avs blow it for him.
Yeah, it's rough.
On a just lazy play.
Yeah.
All around. Again, it's not like it matters. They get the 2 points regardless, but Frankie's first career shutout on the line for the third time, and it's just, nah.
just can't get it.
We're just going to kind of watch and lay on the ground and stuff, and I don't know, frustrating.
Yeah. But yeah, he played a great game, obviously, in this one too.
There's a common theme amongst these 3 games that we're covering in this episode. That is good goaltending from Frankie and great goaltending from the opposing goalie.
Yeah.
Every game was the exact same in that aspect.
Yeah, for sure.
Varlamov played great. He let in 3 goals, yeah, but he, like, I don't know which one you want to fault him on.
Right.
Like, could he have had Burakovsky's? Maybe, but Burakovsky did his job to make him not get that one.
Have to be a pretty nice flash of the glove.
And then tips are just tips, right? Like, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get in the Anaheim game, it's 1-0 final because John Gibson was outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
John Gibson made, 6 saves that he shouldn't have made?
Oh, man, yeah, he played
and I'm
too.
saying that he should have had no business getting to.
Yeah.
Like, it was outrageous. Outrageous in this one.
For sure.
At times, one of the worst games we've watched all year.
It was kind of a snooze fest, for sure.
The Anaheim Ducks fans are, and I don't blame them for this either, but they are not engaged, we could say, in hockey at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where their heads are at.
The building was quiet. And
totally.
At the same time, you said it before we recorded. You look at the Anaheim Ducks versus the LA Kings.
Mm-hmm.
And they are 2 very different teams on the ice, but 2 very similar teams in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
And one team is far more fun to watch because they work their ass off, and it ain't the Ducks.
Yeah. That's a pretty good way to put it because, yeah, you watch the Kings playing. They were trying. Like, they don't have the most talent. We all know that right now. They've traded away to Foley too. Like, they got a bunch of, like, a rookie that was playing his second game. Like, they got a bunch of, I don't even know what to call it, misfits. I don't know. Not a full roster of NHL players by any means.
Well, and you look at Anaheim too. They just traded Andre Kasha.
Right.
For Backus
in
Boston. Obviously, that main part of that trade was the first-round pick and maybe the prospect.
Right.
But, you just take another offensive weapon off your team, and it just like last year, it's John Gibson and John Gibson only. And then Getzlaf was good. Getzlaf made some big-time plays. Like,
yep.
This was Martin Kaut's first game.
Right, I was going to mention
that. In the NHL. He got steamrolled by Getzlaf and turned the puck over in the Avs end one time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a team without the skill, you have to have a lot more players playing like that.
Yeah.
Which is how LA has been competitive against the Avs twice in a week.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, the Ducks, man, it was brutal, that hockey game.
Yeah, it was. And, like, even in the first period, was interesting. It was a turtle's pace. it was such a slow game, and this is not just the Ducks. This is the Avs too. Like, we started this game and everybody was asleep. It looked like I was just kind of wondering the whole time nervously, like, oh God, are we going to play like this the entire game? And like, are we going to lose this game? What's going on? But you mentioned Martin Kaut. He had this was his second game. He played against the Islanders.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. But gets a shot early. Same with Sheldon Dries, it was his first game this year, who played like a lot of games last year for the Avs. So, it's not like he's a stranger to this scene. They, he got a shot early as well. They didn't play too bad. Like, Kaut was he got more ice time in this game.
Right.
Got a little bit more faith by Bednar, which, they eased him in. They eased him into the ice time and everything, so.
He looks like a player that the Avs really need.
Honestly. And,
right, another one of those depth guys that plays hard and plays physical.
Yeah.
But can also probably put points on the board.
Yeah, and we're going to need these guys to be playing some probably pretty key minutes coming up here. Sure. We had 3 opponents that weren't so devastatingly, decent at hockey.
So yeah, that's the other thing to point out here is, yes, the Avs got 6 of 6 points over the last 3 games. It's fantastic. Yep. It's put them right up against the Blues again. But these are teams that you should beat.
Right.
At this time.
And good teams will win these games, right?
Right. And like you got to beat the Ducks, you got to beat the Kings. And the team that was up in the air is the Islanders, but like we said, they were bad. Like, they were in a bad stretch, so you got to capitalize on that.
Yeah. Especially
when you're in a playoff race like this.
Yeah, it's crazy they were talking about the Islanders. Just sorry to go off topic a bit, but they had only scored like 2 goals in like 3 games or something.
Awful.
And then before that, it was like 25 goals in 5 games or something. It's like, whoa. That's so odd that like a team can just snap. Now we can't score.
Yep. Well, we've kind of seen it too.
Yeah, it happens.
But yeah, back to the Ducks game. There was that scramble in the first where the Avs had the wide open net and just put it off the Duck player and out, which was painful.
Right, yeah.
There was also the crossbar from the Ducks that was
right.
Interesting. Didn't make any noise.
Yeah, just like no sound. Goes off right off the connector-ish area.
But nice to see a good post for once.
Yeah, exactly, man. We have so many. I'm pretty sure in all 3 of these games too, we had another post or 2.
The counter as of DNVR is 76 this season.
It just keeps going up.
76 posts.
I need
in
to know
61 games.
I need to know every team's, like, seriously. I feel like the Avs hit the post way more than any team. Maybe it's just because we watch every game and it just happens every game. I don't know. It's crazy though.
It hurts me inside
every time, man. It's like, come on. Why can't that just go in? But also, I have to say, Jost showed up in this game, and my God, has he been getting way more ice time. We'll get to that in the LA game, but he has actually he's so snake bitten. He had multiple opportunities in this game to get on the board and like had some really quality chances, and like you can tell this guy has got his feet going right now. He's giving her hard, and it's only a matter of time before this guy scores. I can't even remember how long it's been since he scored, but it's like
he just can't buy one.
I don't even know. It's many games.
I feel so bad for him.
It's coming though. It's got to come. And if he keeps playing the same way, and he's getting more ice time right now, like this is something we need out of Jost right now. And I think he knows that. He knows that he's an important part of this team right now. Yeah. So. I mean, he had a good game in this one, and yeah.
To the one goal of this game, Avs fans, remember how much we talk about how one mistake can change a game? How do you think the Ducks feel about this one? Terrible pass.
I forgot about the goal, and then I'm like, oh, yeah.
A terrible pass that gets picked off by Martin Kaut.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Passed over to JT Calvert.
JT Calvert.
When Coffer puts us in, I immediately sent it in the group chat. And I'm like, oh my God, Calvert scored.
Classic.
Comfer with his 9th of the year, beauty finish. Yep. Great pass by Kaut. And they talked about it on the broadcast. Not a play that had, he didn't show any nerves in that play. Mm-hmm. Right? Like that, he easily could have bobbled that. Easily could have thrown the pass in his feet, into Confer's feet. Easily could have messed that up. But like a pro that had been there before, Martin Kaut shovels it across. Confer buries it. Gibson almost gets there because he's insane.
Yeah.
But again, right, it's one goal. Oh, it's not so bad. Yeah, well, it's 2 points now.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, again, this is another thing, and I want to bring this up too. The Avs did a very good job for 3 straight games not giving up the grade A turnovers
100%.
as much as usual.
Yeah.
There was a couple in each game, maybe.
I think that's just kind of
But that's
naturally
hockey.
going to happen.
Yeah, that's hockey. You
Yep.
need your goalie to be big.
Exactly.
And Frankie was big.
And it was, yep. We were getting all those saves,
But
right?
the Avs also didn't do this. Like, there was no brutal giveaway that was a 2-on-1.
Amen.
Right? Like, and again, these are not good teams necessarily, but it's a step in the right direction.
But
and I like to see it.
Earlier in the year, we
lost games to LA. We lost games.
The Stadium Series game was not clean by any means. No. And we've given up a lot more high quality chances than we've seen in the last 3 games. So that is huge.
Huge.
So we're talking about Kaut too. Like, great assists, great just awareness. Like, you can tell he was a lot more focused in this game. Avs really started to take over after that goal too. That, like, really, really pressing and just, basically shutting down anything the Ducks had to offer.
The only reason it wasn't more than 1-0 after 2 was John Gibson.
Yeah, 100%. He played so good. Like, and I mean, that's the other thing. I'm going to talk about this in, like, the Kings game too, but Avs were not getting frustrated during these games of not even scoring that much. Earlier in the year, we saw the Avs get super frustrated, start making crappy, also individual plays, right? A lot of that we seen. Like, when we can't score, we'd just, McKinnon would go up the ice and try to score. Then Landeskog would try and go up the ice and score by himself. And that was not happening. We stayed to the process in these games, and it was huge. Like, that's how you win these tight 1-goal games. And one other thing about Kaut, he had as much ice time through the first 2 periods in this game than he did the entire Islanders game. So just, goes to say more about how much more Bednar's trusting him, how much more he's getting trusted by his entire team, and
how much Bednar liked his game in New York or against the Islanders.
Exactly.
Right?
In that small sample size, and he's like, all right, we can run this guy a bit. So, and plus, yeah, exactly. As we go through this game, I'm pretty sure it's right at the end of the second, or maybe it's in the third period, but that's when Burakovsky goes down. And it was...
I don't remember what time it was at, but yeah, just a weird little...
I don't even really know what happened. I just remember seeing him kind of crouch over right at, like, the top of the Avs zone, and then he went off, and that was that. So hopefully he comes back soon, because as we all know, this guy's been insanely hot, and he's now all of a sudden he's the second most point getter on the Avs, which no one saw coming. Let's be real here. That's like what they said on the broadcast too. Like, if you had looked back or looked forward at the start of the year and seen Burakovsky's point total and goal total right now, you'd be like, hell yeah, that's it. That is prime.
That's good for 82 games.
Right. Not 62.
Yeah.
So, like, hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully Burakovsky comes back sooner than later, obviously. One thing in the third period too was Frankie, he actually got ran into a couple times in this game. And, like, my God, this guy is just, he's so, like, his emotional levels are so, like, docile. Like, he is so even keel. He's one of those goalies, like, he's just, Frankie says, relax, bro. He's just like, yo, what? You just... And that's like, is it this game that he gets snowed?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
My God.
He gets snowed. I love the fact that... I can't remember who it was. Delorier, maybe?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Whoever was on the Ducks snows him, and then, like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, you did.
He, like, holds his head where he just snowed the crap out of him. Yo, sorry, dude.
Just the parent, like, coddling the baby.
Like, oh, it was so weird.
Are you okay? I'm so sorry.
His face.
No, you're not. Shut the fuck up.
And Frankie the whole time is just like, I don't care. Get the fuck away from me. Yeah. It's all good. I love it. Like, and then they also said, like, in the intermish, they were talking about how Sakic was saying, like, just, preaching how amazing his preparation is. And, like, you can tell. We can all tell. Like, this guy is so focused when he's called upon, he is like dialed in. He's like in a different zone. He's one of those goalies, like
we didn't really touch on it yet, but the Avs signed Frankie to a 2-year extension this week as well.
Yeah.
Was that Thursday or was it
right before this game?
Yeah.
Like I think it was the same
Yeah,
day.
it might have been Friday, Friday early afternoon.
Yeah.
Great deal. 2 years. Well, it's if you look at it as Frankie's the backup, it's a bit pricey. $2 million for a backup is pricey. The Avs can afford it. We've kind of talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
However, obviously the 3-game stretch Frankie just had, hot damn. The full season he's had, hot damn.
Yeah.
That is a screaming deal.
Yep.
For a guy that could be your 1B starter. Like,
right.
It could easily be a 50-32 style of game. Like,
I'm glad you're bringing this up because I wanted to talk about this,
right?
too.
Like, they could easily go 1A, 1B with Grubauer and Frankie next year.
100%.
And if that's the case, $2 million's fucking cheap.
Well, and, like, also going forward here, who knows, right? Like, how long is it going to be till Grubauer gets back, A? B, how well is Frankie going to play during this entire stretch? We've already seen 3 games in a row and a back-to-back where he's played really well.
Yeah. And Frankie on Wednesday, that is all Avs on his goal against.
Mm-hmm.
He shuts out the Ducks.
Yep.
And it's a penalty shot that he lets in against the Kings.
Yeah.
That could easily be 3 shutouts in a row. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh, straight up. Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, I understand. Like, let's not get too high. Let's not get too low either if things go sideways eventually one day down the road. But $2 million is a bargain most likely for Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a very fantastic deal that works him into a starting goalie role.
Right.
Right? Like, you might look at like a $5 million $5 million Frankie contract after this is over, but he'll be your starting goalie.
Yeah, possibly. You're right.
Right? And I keep seeing this crap about the fact that the goaltending situation is the highest priority going into Monday for the Avs. I think you're crazy. I think it's like, I understand if you want to add like a depth option just in case, but if they wanted to add a depth option, Louis Domingue was just on waivers.
Yeah,
for free.
That's true.
And the Avs didn't want him.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want a third string guy like Louis Domingue,
who's actually had time in NHL, right? Too.
He had 10 straight wins last year.
Right.
Yes, it was Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay was rolling.
Still, though.
He still had 10 straight wins.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want to pick him up for free. Because...
obviously, yeah.
So, like, how eager are you really to add depth? Because you're not adding a starting goalie.
Right.
You're not trading
going for price here.
You're not trading for Robin Leonard to be your starting guy.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want a goalie Monday, you're looking for a third stringer.
Yeah.
You're looking for somebody to play behind Gruby and Frankie. And if a free Louis Domingue isn't good enough for you, I don't know what the hell you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's the thing too, is even Sakic kind of reiterated that he says they'll look at possibly improving the goaltending situation, and
but like
not selling the future here.
You're not trying to get a top 2 guy. You're trying to get a third guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case. If you're going to go on a playoff run, that is a nice luxury to have a third guy waiting, just in case.
Especially with the way that Grubauer's health has been.
Grubauer's been hurt twice this season now, right?
Exactly. So,
and you never know what's going to happen to Frankie. Look at, like we said earlier, look what happened in Carolina.
Yeah, right.
James Reimer gets run over. Actually, sorry, I'm not going to use run over yet.
Happened to
James Reimer gets pushed. A Carolina Hurricane defenseman got pushed into James Reimer by, I think it was Zach Hyman.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of tweaked his knee. Mrazek goes in the net, plays for 10 or 15 minutes. Goes to play the puck and gets run over.
Friggin' owned.
It takes no time at all to lose both guys.
Yeah.
I am
especially in the playoffs.
Okay with getting a third guy. Because having Adam Werner or having Hunter Miskew as your number 3 is not good. And obviously right now Adam Werner is hurt. So Hunter Miskew is number 3.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not okay. However, what do you want to spend? What do you want to spend to get that?
Yeah.
I think free for Louis Domingue was fine.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, that could have been a way to do it without, spending anything.
This is not how I plan on getting into the goalie conversation. I plan on getting into this after when we talk about trades and stuff. So let's get back to the Ducks game.
All right.
Finish that off quick, and then we'll get to the LA game.
That's sidebars for later.
Yeah. Anyway, end of the game, end of the Ducks game. You know, the third period, like we were saying, like Frankie gets snowed. He's super chill. I don't know. The Avs didn't have the greatest third period.
Mm-hmm.
They had 5 shots.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've kind of said before, right? It's a lot easier to play defense in their end. However, it's the Ducks. They don't exactly have a lot of firepower. But this is the thing you need to improve on when you're playing better teams.
Yeah.
Because we've watched it happen. Why did the Avs blow so many third period leads? Because they did shit like this.
Yeah.
And they just get friggin' hemmed in, and they get pumped and pumped and pumped, and eventually you're playing a team that has somebody extra talented. Connor McDavid, Draisaitl, whoever you want to talk that's superbly good.
Yeah.
They're going to bite you.
They're going to make something happen there, yeah. And I mean, for the most part in this game, the Avs did a pretty good job of mellowing out the Ducks' chances.
Yeah.
On one thing I noticed, and I don't know if Brett's around still, but is the Ducks' ice just fucking garbage?
Probably.
Because the entire game, the friggin' puck is just rolling around everywhere. Like way more than usual. And I'm just, whole game, I'm just thinking, like, how shitty is Anaheim ice? Like, It looks so bad. And, like, that's kind of why I don't know if Brett's around, but, like, I just wanted to ask him because he was just in California and he saw a game in the Duck Pond. Whatever. What's their actual building called?
Honda Center.
Oh, right.
The Duck Pond is probably the worst nickname for a building.
It totally is.
Ever. It's so bad.
But, like, yeah.
The Pepsi can's not much better, but it's better than the Duck Pond.
The Duck Pond. But, yeah, I just noticed that throughout the night. I was like, holy shit, man. Like, the puck's floating around everywhere. Like, no one can get, like, clean passes. Like, what the hell is this crap ice, man? Like, I'm used to Denver ice where, like, 80% of the rinks in the NHL have good ice. But for some reason, I don't know. I think Anaheim has garbage.
There's
ice.
just a lot of bad in Anaheim at the moment.
Yeah, that building is just so boring. It seems like with their RC cola.
But pretty cool little moment at the end of the game. Martin Kaut goes straight off the bench to get the game puck for Frankie.
Yeah.
Also, after the game, pretty cool pictures. I think it was by the Avs, or maybe the Eagles, actually. But Martin Kaut celebrating with Frankie after his first career AHL game, or AHL shutout.
Yeah.
And then him handing the puck over, celebrating with Frankie in his first career NHL shutout.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty fitting.
Yeah.
Would have been nicer if it was in the Islanders game. But
yeah.
I'm happy for Frankie, regardless. That he deserves it for sure.
100%.
He's deserved it multiple times. We've said that.
Yeah, he's fought so many games. He has won us games this year.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why it just makes it all the more sweeter that he gets this shutout the day he signs the new contract.
That's true.
It was just so fitting, and just this is what we got. So, one other, a couple other things before we get to the LA game. Big Z takes that penalty in the third period.
No, no, this is that.
It's hanging over the boards and it hits his leg. And like some people were freaking out about this penalty. That's a fucking penalty, okay?
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Like, it is funny because someone looked up the rule book and that's legit. One of the last paragraphs of the interference penalty is the exact thing that happens. I don't know why anyone's bitching about this. It's a penalty.
We have things to bitch about that are better than this.
Yeah, like
trust me.
He's an idiot. Like Big Z, I'm sorry, but what are you doing, man? Get your legs on the other side of the. What are you saving? 0.3 of a second? Not even. Like, come on, man. Just stay in the box, then go on.
I don't know. Finish your things you want to bring up. I forgot one thing.
Okay. Yeah. So, but that's in the third period, and that was pretty late. And it's like, dude, we're giving up a power play this late in the game, and Frankie just so solid on that power play because they had some chances.
We could be bitching about a penalty kill real bad.
Oh, that
Right
could
now.
have been the worst situation, right? But yeah, frickin' Frankie just locked it up. Also, later in the game, Jost just gets freaking owned. But dude, this is what Jost is doing lately, is he's putting himself in these situations to make a play, and he took a massive hit from Richie. And I don't know if anybody, I'm sure if you watched this game, you saw it. I don't know if there's highlights floating around, but he just rushes up right at Anaheim's bench, gets freaking lined up by Richie, and flies into like the bench and like smokes his balls on the bench. I've never seen someone like get owned like this. He like his right leg flies over the bench, and then he smacks his balls on the bench. And immediately I was like, oh God, that looked painful. And Jost didn't even really, do too much. He gets back on the ice, goes to his bench, and then he gets to the bench and he's just like,
I'm going to puke. I'm going to puke.
My balls. It's just like, man, what a play though, because he gets the puck deep. I'm trying to think exactly when this was. I think it was right after the penalty kill. But man, he makes a great play, gets it deep, and then just gets absolutely owned by Richie, who's not a small human being.
No.
The guy's a freaking beast. So
Yeah, he's a truck.
Just hats off to Jost. He had a great game in this game. So that's huge.
The one thing I forgot to bring up, the dark jerseys.
Oh yeah, dude. This whole trip.
Such a ridiculous reasoning behind this.
Oh yeah, because I don't even know the reasoning.
The reasoning was because LA wanted to wear their 90s unis on Saturday.
I knew that.
So rather than bring two sets of jerseys, like a, NHL hockey team,
Too much dry cleaning.
too much work apparently. Like legit, that was the reasoning by the set. Like that's what they said on the broadcast, was to save space in packing.
Okay,
They brought one set of jerseys, so then they asked Anaheim to wear their whites.
Yeah. And it was so confusing because right when they start this game, I'm like, I thought this game was
See,
away.
I didn't even notice. And then I was like, oh yeah, this is in Anaheim. What the hell's happening?
Yeah.
I just laughed because it's like, this is the NHL and you can't bring two sets of jerseys.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like a minor hockey thing. Like,
Yeah.
shit, we forgot our whites. Go to across the dressing rooms.
Hey, can you guys
You guys have
switch?
your other jerseys here? Because we only have our darks.
It's just so ridiculous. Like, and I like the darks. I don't care. I like
hell
all the
yeah.
jerseys. But I thought the Kings were going to be wearing their Stadium Series jerseys again.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I expected. But then I'm like, that's going to look really weird with the Avs regular jerseys and then their Stadium Series jerseys.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, these jerseys. Which I like these jerseys for the Kings too.
Yeah, they're sweet.
They're nice retros. I'm a big fan.
Honestly, the one thing I noticed about the Stadium Series was those jerseys were way too similar. They were too dark.
See, this is the problem.
For me, it was just
The
like,
problem
weird.
with those jerseys is because the Kings were half white, half dark. If the Avs were white, then it would have been bad too.
That's true. That is true.
Right? That's the problem with going half white, half black.
Yeah, that was an interesting, because right at the start of that game, I just remember being like, oh my God, I'm going to get confused.
And
a
then,
little
so
bit.
for me, what I find messes me up the most, like especially when I'm reffing and stuff, shoulder caps. If the shoulder caps are similar, it drives me insane. And that's what the case of the Stadium Series was, because their upper half was black.
Right.
And then the Avs were in darks.
Yeah.
In like the blue and maroon or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
yeah, it was.
Especially in the camera angles and stuff too. When a lot of the camera angles are from the top.
Right.
It's like, you guys are wearing the same colors.
It's hard to tell, man.
And obviously it's not the same. It's black and something else, but it's like dark and dark versus dark and light is very different. So it's like almost if they would have flipped it for the like black on the bottom, white on top, might have been easier.
Yeah.
But that would have been weird too. So I don't know. It's hard to watch. Like, that's why you should never combine like white and black.
Right.
You can combine two colors. That's fine.
It's got to be like really subtle.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, on to the LA game. Also not a very eventful game. But
yeah,
Jonathan Quick was fucking outstanding again.
Again, we run into a crazy hot goalie, but we pull through, right?
I don't remember what I don't remember. Was that save before or after they were up 1-0?
Yeah, it was. I can't exactly remember.
I don't
when
care.
It was,
It's my favorite
honestly.
thing in the first period. Jonathan Quick's blocker save on the 2-on-1 on Pebs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See,
Just an absolute ridiculous save.
like they were saying on the broadcast, and we've talked about Quick like a little bit, right? This guy is just so damn athletic. Like, there's no goalie that plays the game quite like he does.
See, the thing too with this save for Quick is Quick makes the save harder on himself and still makes the save. Because he plays so aggressively, so he was so far out of the crease, he has to go so much farther cross crease.
Yeah, it's just
on a
his
2-on-1
style,
like this,
right?
right? So he already made it harder on himself, and he still gets there with like the edge of his blocker, maybe a bit of the shaft of his stick. And it's just like, oh my God, man.
Yeah. That was I mean, that's like top 3 save of the year.
And also, props to Pebs.
Yeah, seriously.
That's the one-timer that shouldn't happen.
Oh, it's so awkward, right?
Because that's not the typical one-timer where you're on your off wing. That he's on his left wing.
He's got such an awkward
The puck
angle.
comes across his body, and he still one-times it quick with a snapshot. It's incredibly hard. That is a really nice play by Pebbles.
Takes an intense amount of strength to pull a decent shot out of that kind of.
It wasn't like you flubbed it on net like that.
Yeah,
man,
it was a good shot. And like they show the replay too, right? Like, and I'm pretty sure they kind of broke it down in the intermission. And like they freeze frame when that puck goes across the Pebs, and the entire net is open.
Yeah.
And then you play it in slow mo and just Quick just shoots across. And just
that's the thing, right?
Blocker.
Like, so that's what I was I'm saying, right? If Quick is at the top of the crease, he has to slide across 6 feet.
Yeah.
But because he's like 2 feet out of the paint,
It's like 10
he's got to slide like 10 feet.
Yeah.
It is
Insane.
crazy. It is absolutely crazy how he gets over there. Absolutely insane.
Like crazy leg strength and just like the focus to like pull that off.
How he doesn't pull his groin every single time, I don't understand.
Yeah, like he's a different animal in the net, man. Like he's one of the craziest goalies in the league. And you know,
it's really a shame that his prime, quote unquote, didn't last longer.
Yeah.
Because, man, he was one of my favorite goalies to watch. He was definitely not on my like favorite lists. That's Price and Fleury for me.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh, my God, he was fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's a style that nobody else does.
Yeah.
Like, nobody comes close to that style.
I don't think anybody can pull that off. Like, that is insane.
Grubauer's kind of close.
Yeah, he's a little bit more
because he's small,
springy.
Right? Like, he's a little smaller, right? That's Quick's issue, too. He's a little smaller. So you have to be better like that. You have to be more aggressive out. You have to cut your angles out better and stuff.
It's kind of like a prime kipper in a way too.
Kind of, yeah.
But still, not as much as Quick.
Yeah, like, way more movement, and it's crazy. And like, it's kind of why Quick is so up and down because that style. If you're even a half a step behind the play, you miss that. Like he
just a little bit off.
He gets scored on there. If he has a 1/10 of a second slower reaction, he gets scored on.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And it's just like, man, it's super fun to watch when he's on. As the opposing team, though, can you frig off?
Yeah.
The penalty shot that does come later, about 5 minutes left in the period, I believe. Or is this 5 minutes in?
5 minutes in.
Jeez, see?
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about this. Like,
he gets wrapped up.
Technically, it is a penalty shot, and I know it's maybe not as blatant as some penalty shots that we've seen, and even me, I'm just kind of like, I've seen that not called a penalty shot before, but it is what it is, you know, and it happens. And Wagner scores. He gets Frankie to drop his glove a bit, pops it over the glove. Yeah. Whatever. What are you supposed to do about that?
Move. That's a good move.
It's a damn penalty shot. It can happen, you know?
Yeah, like, if you want to fault Frankie a little bit, he drops his glove past his pad. If he drops it on top of the pad, he probably makes a save.
Yeah.
But it's a penalty shot, right? Like, Wagner gets him to move.
Yep.
Pure and simple.
Wagner of all people too.
Yeah,
It's
that's the thing, right?
Man.
Not the best.
But yeah, it was a tough period. The first period in this game. I mean, it was a battle, and you could tell like the roster that we have right now and the grindy style that LA plays. That this entire game was going to be a battle. It was going to be gritty. We're going to have to score some. We're going to just have to put pucks on net and just hope that we can beat quick because this guy's playing amazing. It was a struggle. It was honestly a struggle. And at the end of the period, we get the PP off Wagner. I think it was like a trip or something.
Roughing on Confer.
Oh, yeah. Right. And that kind of sparked the team a bit. And it was a really, really good power play to end the period. Lots of good chances. Sparked a little bit of momentum. So that was a good little treat at the end of the period for the Avs.
The end of the period power play was actually the hold from foreboard.
Oh, my bad.
Landy, but Wagner did take a penalty.
Right, he took one right after.
In.
Yeah, right after he got the goal. Oh yeah, I don't think that power play wasn't
the one thing about the power play though. I believe the end of the period power play was good.
Yeah, the end of the period was.
But man, 0 for 5. I'm like
exactly.
And again, if we want to go back to the Rantanen one, when Rantanen got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Burakovsky is the replacement for Rantanen, and then he's not playing.
Right.
So there's part of it that, okay, I'll give you a pass a little bit. But it's still Makar and McKinnon and Landeskog.
And it's still 5-on-4.
And it's still 5-on-4. So it's like, you got to get the job done in 5 power plays, guys. You got to get the job done.
I mean, that's got to be my biggest criticism of this team going forward at this point. If we're talking recency and everything, 100%. This power play, especially in this situation that we're in with the health issues, this dog days stretch that we're going to be going through here, that's kind of just getting going. The real gritty days of the NHL season.
The final stretch, and you got to be on. And if a team gives you 5 power plays, you gotta capitalize.
Gotta capitalize for sure. And I mean, I was thinking about that the whole time in this game. I'm like, boys, we're playing LA. We have 5 power plays in this game. We need to some of the power plays, they were pretty good, but honestly, the whole time definitely was not a good power play.
Yeah.
We need to score. We need to score. If we're having a hard time scoring goals and we have scorers out of our lineup, you just got to pepper.
It's, again, we've kind of talked about it, right? If you create momentum and maybe you score like a minute after a power play, that's another thing, right? But that didn't happen in this game. Did not happen. Because then the thing is, too, when your power play is not scoring, this is the NHL. I don't know if anybody's seen these graphs floating around the NHL, but like the penalties drawn versus penalties taken graph, that's like a 45-degree angle of like you draw 2, you take 2. You draw 5, you take 5. It's frustrating because a team like the Avs, a team like the Penguins, a team like the Edmonton Oilers that are offensive as hell should be drawing more than they're taking.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be so correlated. And the entire league fits pretty close in the roughly draw 1, take 1 sort of line.
Yeah.
So when you're getting 5 power plays and you're not scoring on them, it is a pain. Like it will hurt you.
Yeah, that's a hole, right?
Especially with how the penalty kill for the Avs is.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No, by no means.
How many times our penalty kill go 5 for 5?
Not often.
Right?
It hasn't been very many times.
So it's one of those things, right? You have to capitalize.
And the Avs might be like literally the best 5-on-5 team in the NHL.
Yeah.
And if not, top 3. But special teams were pretty far down the chart.
Very.
So that's definitely going to be something that we need to, keen in on, because
that's got to be coaching to me.
I mean,
that the players and the personnel are there.
Well, and the thing is, too, is the top unit is just so much different than our other unit. Like, when do we ever get power play goals from our second unit? Like, it's super rare.
Which it's partially okay, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Because, and I kind of got brought up in Toronto for the same reason, where it's like, if you're going to put all your eggs in that first power play basket and you're going to leave them out there for a minute and a half, who cares about your second unit?
Yeah.
The problem is, if it's drawn by the first power play unit, like whether it's the first line or maybe part of the second line, and you got to put out your second unit, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah. And I mean, like in this game, the Avs were basically just double shifting McKinnon.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, with all the people out right now, that's not surprising at all. And plus, the guy's got like what seems like an infinite gas tank. But
anyway,
yeah, need some more power play goals for sure.
Anyway, we got to run through this.
Yeah.
Ryan Graves finally gets the Avs on the board in the second, late in the second.
We gotta, yeah.
What?
Mind. Sorry. But also that save by Quick was in the second period.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, Graves' point shot finds its way in. Good for him, his 9th of the year.
Yeah, man. I mean, we haven't even talked about Graves all that much this year, but in the last month, I mean, the guy's got like an enormous plus minus, which is honestly a little bit like mind-boggling. But then I've really tried to pay attention to him, and I really have over the last month. Man, has he become a really responsible D-man. And like you talk about, he gets this goal. He gets his 9th goal of the year, which is probably more than anyone thought he was going to get. He's playing with an offensive flair, but he does not put himself in bad positions. And he plays off Makar. Him and Makar have got a really, really good chemistry going now. And they play off each other so well. Like, you see Makar, and that's just also the top line and Makar Graves. When they're out there, it's like this 5-man cycling unit. It's such a different look, and they kind of talked about this on the broadcast, and it's ridiculous. Like, you don't really see other teams doing what our top line and top 5-man unit, offensive unit can do. And like Makar will just go all the way down, and then McKinnon comes back to the point, and then they pass back to McKinnon, and he goes like all the way down. And then everyone's like cycling through, and you see the defense on the other team, they're like, what the hell? What do we do right now? It looks like a power play.
Yeah.
How many times against Anaheim did that happen? It happened a couple times against LA, not to quite the extent that it was against Anaheim. But it's just so interesting. And Graves has been just like this little freaking surprise this year, and like, holy crap, dude, like he's breaking records right now with how amazing his plus minus is. He, through the first, 60 or 55 whatever games it was, he is the highest plus minus that's ever been.
Jesus,
that is ridiculous. Like, and you can see it. Like, at first I'm like, why is this just an anomaly number here?
Yeah.
No, he's so responsible. It's crazy.
That's the thing with plus minus though too, right? Which is like, there's not very many minus players in the Avs, okay?
For sure.
Right, like Mikko Rantanen's -2, Landeskog -3, Gerard -2, and Sheldon Dries -1 after 3 games.
Yeah.
But then you get to like the fact that like your top guys, Ryan Graves is at 43, the next 2 are 28. That's Nichushkin and Ian Cole.
And Nichushkin too, right? Like, crazy.
You're like, what? You're not on the ice that much. Like, Nichushkin has 25 points. He's got plus 28. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But then it drops all the way to like 12.
Yeah.
13.
And
so it's just like the jumps on this team are really weird.
Yeah.
Like, you'd expect 43, 38, 35,
Yep.
Not 48, 28.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 43, 28.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And like, there's something there, right?
Yeah,
there's
sure.
Something to be said about that.
It's weird. It's like plus minus is a tough stat to look at, especially individual games and stuff like.
Yeah.
But in a grand scheme of things, you're just like, man, that's crazy how it's just worked out that way.
Yeah, and especially how you just broke it down there. Like it's more you got to look at plus minus relative to team member.
Relative to your team and stuff.
Yeah, and that's a ridiculous number.
One other thing coming from the second is the Dustin Brown slash and Cale Makar embellishment.
Yeah, stop embellishing crap, Makar. Come on, dude.
Ridiculous call. I'm not going to say it's as ridiculous as the broadcast sounded. It's not. It's a terrible call. 100%.
Oh, it's so bad.
If you're the ref and you want to call a penalty there on Cale Makar, the holding the stick is a far easier sell. I don't know why you think that's embellishment. That is a slash. And, okay, like everybody's saying, well, he went down the tunnel. Like, how's that embellishment? Ref clearly didn't think it was that hard. Clearly he was wrong. It's brutal. It's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
But it's also not like the fucking absolute worst thing ever. I don't think Dustin Brown actually slashes him. I think the blade misses Cale Makar. I think the blade kind of like curls around his like hip. Because if he literally digs the stick and then he doesn't get called for spearing, that's insane. I understand why that's called slashing. Because in the NHL, spearing is a very black and white call. Generally, it's a 5.
Yeah, and it's... Yeah.
And
it's more like deliberate.
Normally speaking, it's the up and down motion between the legs. That's a 5-minute spear.
Yeah, or like if you're actually going to like javelin or like...
Yeah, right. Like the front javelin, not like the side slash like this was.
Yeah.
So like I'm okay with the 2-minute slash.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that makes the even up call even more ridiculous. Is like, what?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, how the hell do we not have a power play right now?
It's ridiculous. It's a terrible call. It is an absolute terrible call.
Oh, so bad.
I don't get it.
Blew my freaking mind.
The third period, I like the penalty call in the third. Just the abusive language from Martin Ferk.
Yeah, right. The bench miner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about 5 minutes in, and I'm trying to think
I don't remember what happened.
Caused it? Damn, I cannot remember. Oh, it was when the puck goes out, which is so weird. It's like, what are you guys saying to the ref right now? They didn't give you a penalty, so like it's when the puck's kind of midair. I can't even remember who. Buddy on LA hits it out of the air. It goes over LA's player bench and out. They were looking at it. Is this a delay of game penalty? Blah, blah, blah. Refs come to the conclusion, no. It would have hit the glass if the glass was, right above the boards as it is around the rest of the rink. Fair enough. Like, no penalty. But then I don't know what's getting said on the bench, but they get a bench minor.
It's like, you guys want 2 minutes? Okay, sure, here.
Yeah. Like, okay, here's a penalty then. You're going to talk shit to me.
But again, right, it's one of those ones where it's like, those are the gimmies that you want your team to capitalize on the most.
Yeah.
And to really hammer home the fact that you guys fucked up. Mm-hmm. And the Avs don't.
Oh, it's a terrible power play. That power play was awful.
The third period was awful to begin with.
I mean...
This game was pretty awful, though. Like
it kind of was.
LA had 7 shots in the first. They had 3 shots in the second.
Yeah,
and they had 6 in the third.
11 minutes into the third period. Into the third period. Sorry, 11 minutes left. So LA had 11 shots.
Total.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like, how terrible is that? And honestly, that's the way that kind of LA plays. Obviously, they want more than 11 shots.
They don't have any offense except Kopitar, basically.
Right. And, man, they make the game boring. Boring. Like, this game was so boring for the most part.
So, this game gets to overtime. And this is where I kind of want to go with this. Why are the Avs so bad at overtime?
I don't know. Too much thinking. I don't know. I don't really know.
The Avs legitimately, like, this is the 4th or 5th overtime we've seen this year. Well, sorry, in the last bit. The Avs are horrendous at overtime.
Yeah.
The only guy that tried to get the puck inside in 5 minutes for the Avs was Valeri Nichushkin.
Yep.
Why? You have Donskoi, you have McKinnon, you have Makar, you have Girard, you have Graves. Like, I understand. I just named 3 defensemen, but it's like
they were all on the ice a lot.
You have offensive players. You have to drive the middle of the ice.
Yeah.
I just rhymed off LA's shots totals for the game. 7, 3, 6 in 20-minute periods. They had 5 in a 5-minute period in overtime.
Yeah.
Are we serious?
Yeah, it's weird. They really like to just play the possession game, and it's like almost like wasting time a lot. Like
how many times did they friggin' circle the zone and then skate out?
Yeah, like you guys got to create something. You can't just have the one guy driving in with the puck, and then the other two are just like, okay.
Yeah, like
I'll just slowly go over the blue line.
That was what the Avs did, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, nobody drove, but when the guy did drive, there was nobody supporting him.
Mm-hmm.
There was no like he couldn't drive and then dish. It was drive and take a shot or nothing or lose the puck, right? Painful as hell with an offensive team. Like again, the Avs are so good 5-on-5. You should be really good at 3-on-3.
Especially being like one of the quickest teams in the league.
Just absolutely retarded. I was so mad watching that overtime.
Yeah, it was rough, man. It was rough. And that was, at that point, that was after LA had already had some pretty good zone time. Doughty had a couple good chances.
Dude, Doughty, that drive to the net where Frankie got his toe on it.
Big pad toe save.
Man. And then there was the one right at the end where Frankie lost it behind him, and it was just a big scrum shit show. Like, very well could have been over.
Yeah, and
gets
then
to a shootout, and then
and also Donskoi took that hooking penalty.
Oh yeah, which
was a pretty weak call.
Nah, man, that is all day.
It's still a hook.
That is honestly, that was a really good call.
Yeah,
because watching, it wasn't actually Donskoi, it was Comfer. So Donskoi is the one that bitches and moans about it, which makes it look like it was Donskoi.
Gotcha, that's my.
But then you watch the replay, and Comfer's stick is all over his hands.
Yeah,
100% good call. It looks like it's bad, and I think Donskoi thought it was against him.
Maybe that's what I thought too. Then actually,
but it's Comfer, and Comfer that is a hook on the hands all day.
Fair enough.
It just, and thankfully it was late in overtime, and then I think it was that power play where Frankie had the shit show.
Oh, and also. huge block by Nieto.
Yeah. On
that, which is Ferk. Remember we were talking about him after, around All-Star time? The dude had like 109.2 mile per hour slap shot.
Yeah, right.
And Nieto's blocking this shot, no fear, full out slap shot, takes it right in the arm. He's like, ah! Like, character move by Nieto.
Like it hurt real bad.
Yeah, that probably didn't feel too good. He's probably got a little bruise there.
Get to the shootout. Jonathan Quick was solid again.
The
first two shooters was
it's Kopitar and then McKinnon. Yeah, I've never seen a move like this in the shootout. The dude just comes full tilt McKinnon and goes for a backhand. I loved the way that he did that because honestly, you got to think like Quick. His name says it, man. He's quick. So what do you have to do? You got to be quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He should have tried to go 5-hole. When you're going that fast and making him think you're going to go wide, that's when he's going to open up.
That might have been the move there, yeah.
Still a nice move, though. Nice save. Landeskog's attempt. Again, Quick was all over him. Nice moves, but when you don't make the goalie bite on one of your moves, you're never going to score.
Especially on
Donskoi, though. Oh. He got Quick to bite, and did he ever bite?
Yeah, that was nice. I didn't expect it.
I didn't either.
I did not expect it.
What a filthy move, though.
I thought maybe Donskoi is just going to come in here and try to rip at Cheds or something.
And then friggin' at the other end, Frankie was fantastic.
Made some great saves, covered the net the way he had to.
They sent Martin Ferk in on a shootout, which was weird.
It was weird. I was like, what the hell?
And then Velarde, rookie guy,
second game.
Flubs it in the corner, but Frankie was there the whole way.
Yep.
Right? Same kind of thing. Velarde tried to make him bite, and he didn't bite. And then he loses it, right?
Yeah.
Now on to the final bit of the pod here. Trade deadline is today if you're listening Monday. We kind of touched on the goalie stuff. The Avs are still in on Kreider, apparently.
Yep.
The interesting one, though, is Jumbo. Jumbo Joe Thornton is apparently the Avs are apparently on Jumbo's 5-team trade list.
I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't, right?
Which is intriguing as all hell.
I mean, I thought about it a bit, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
Maybe.
think the price is steep.
Well, I don't think it would be.
Right? So it's like, that's a depth
It's
guy.
possible.
Man, that is a pretty solid depth guy.
And that's someone who would really, really put in a shite ton of effort. Like, this
And
guy wants to win a cup.
You want to help a second power play unit? Jumbo Joe Thornton will definitely help your second power play unit.
I mean, there's not too many better passers out there in, like, especially the last decade and a half. This guy's been amazing.
The problem is, with adding Jumbo, you might lose a penalty killer, which might be a problem because he's not. I wouldn't put him on a penalty kill.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know if Jost is still truly on the trade block.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too. So apparently Tyson Jost is on the list of players that might get shipped. Was it Graves that was interviewed and said he doesn't want to leave? Which,
I mean,
wouldn't blame him.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That'd be a stupid trade.
I would freaking lose it on Sakic. I got way more faith in Joe than that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't think the Avs are going to bring Kreider in.
I mean,
I think the price is too much.
I just feel like other teams will pay more too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
But again, so back to the goalie situation. The thing with Louis Domingue, this is the thing I don't understand at all. Louis Domingue of $1.15 million for one more season, like literally this 20-game stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Why they didn't bring him up, I don't understand. Or why they didn't claim him on waivers. Because what I read was like the reason nobody claimed him on waivers, quote unquote, is so that he could be put in their farm team.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you trade for Domingue now, you can place him in your AHL. Like
Right.
Colorado could put him on the Eagles and not have to put him on waivers.
Right.
Plus the NHL with the movement up and down. If the player clears waivers, he's exempt from waivers for like 30 days. So you could trade for Domingue, bring him up right now to back up Frankie,
and then send him back
and then
down,
send him back down in the next 2 weeks and not have to put him on waivers again.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the Avs. They have no cap problems. They could have just played Domingue as a third guy on the NHL club.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just practice him. It blows me away. Plus the fact that nobody took him on waivers.
Yeah, like no one, period.
Which obviously you don't know that. Like, obviously nobody knows that nobody else took him on waivers when they get asked to take him on waivers.
Mm-hmm.
But you could probably put him on waivers after you just picked him up on waivers.
Yeah.
But then again, the Devils will probably take him. Right, assuming. So it's just one of those weird things. It's just, I don't know, a free Domingue would have been exactly what the Avs wanted.
Yeah.
So if you now pay an asset that's anything, like they might just pay an asset as a contract out the door. Just, a guy that's never going to play. He's on an NHL contract. Here you go. Here, we'll take Domingue's contract. Done deal. If that's the case, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what the Avs contract list is like, actually. 45 of 50. Yeah, they got lots of contract room, so they don't even need to do that. So it's like, I don't know. To me, it's weird. If you're actively in the market for a goalie, now, Domingue is not a savior. There's a reason he was on waivers.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Curtis McElhaney was picked up on waivers by the Leafs 3 years ago and went on to be the best backup goalie they've had in a very long time.
Yeah.
And is now in Tampa Bay, which is why Domingue is not in Tampa Bay.
Right.
Right? So it's just like you can find guys on waivers for free.
Yeah.
Domingue would have been perfect, in my opinion. It bugs me that they didn't pick him up.
Well, yeah, and that's what leads me to believe that maybe we're satisfied.
Yeah,
because yeah, I don't know.
If that's the case, it's very weird that he would say in the media that he's thinking about upgrading the goalie position. He didn't have to say that.
Yeah, I know. And then some of the other rumors have been Petrie possibly.
Yeah, that seems like it's going to be very expensive, and
I don't know
still
how
stupid,
crazy I am about that. Yeah, just like I get the notion to want to add depth to your D, but man, I just especially if we look at these last 3 games, this D-core has been really good.
Petrie is more than depth.
True.
Right? Like,
He's got a little bit of power play flair too.
If you want to add a seventh guy,
yeah,
go ahead.
Because Petry's more of like a top 4, right?
I would think you'd play him in your top 4.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and also that kind of makes things awkward too, right? Like we got our top 2 pairs are so suited for each other at this point. I don't even know if Petry's better than any of those 4.
Well, if you add a defenseman, like if you add a legitimate top 6 guy, who comes out?
Yeah.
I've said this before. I like our top 6. Maybe it's a case of like, oh, you sit Zadorov for a game, whatever, right? Like maybe it's you rest a guy. Okay, sure. But that's not Petry. You can't trade for Petry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my feelings towards
You got to trade for one of the guys that's already been traded, right?
Yeah.
Like where, like even Dylan DeMello would have made more sense.
True.
Right? Which for a team like Winnipeg, he slots into their top 6, no problem.
Yeah, that's a pretty good
But
fit there.
he could easily have been your 7th guy here.
Mm-hmm.
Petry's in your lineup. So it's just crazy to me you'd pay for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, all these talking points could be for naught if something crazy happens on Monday, which we'll talk about on Thursday for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll kind of look over every kind of instance that happens during trade deadline and all that crap.
My voice has gotten progressively worse over this, so I'm going to try to talk the minimum from now until we record on Wednesday. So you cannot have to listen to me sound like I'm a 6-pack a day smoker.
Yeah.
Because I swear I don't smoke at all. On that note, Ovi hits 700 too.
Yeah.
If you didn't see that, which
Cheers
is
to that.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, we will talk to you on Thursday. Enjoy trade deadline, and the Avs got 6-6. It's happy days.
Happy days, boy.
Now a quick word from our sponsors.
Last but not least today, we have a fantastic deal from Reebok. Reebok is offering an extra 50% off if you use the code GETDOWN, no spaces. This would be a perfect time to get yourself some new workout gear, maybe some UFC fight merch. Whatever you're looking for, this code will save you some money. Also, same as with Puffy and NHL Shop. If you shop through our link, which we will tweet after the episode, you can help support us and the Hockey Podcast Network. Again, thanks for tuning in to our growing network of podcasts, and we hope you enjoy our episode. Don't forget to visit us on Twitter at Offside by a Mile to join our conversation and have your voice heard. Also, check out the rest of the Hockey Podcast Network on Twitter at HockeyPodNet and thehockeypodcastnetwork.com. You can listen to the podcast there or anywhere you get your podcasts from. The biggest thing you can do to support us is by going to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and giving us a 5-star rating. Also, if you're looking to donate to the network, visit the Hockey Podcast Network's Patreon page. All donations go straight to the podcast host. Thanks, and see you next episode.
You're listening to the Hockey Podcast Network on Twitter at HockeyPodNet. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. Download at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts from.